Today is April 16th, 2021.
March.
Meeting of the Berlin Board of Health.
March 16th.
I'm sorry, March 16th. Thank you. Trying to move spring along here.
You're rushing it.
Hey,
Due to Governor's Baker's issues, we are doing this via Zoom. Everybody in terms of the public is invited to participate. They can certainly request information and it will be provided as requested and required. We'll just do a roll call of who's here and then we'll proceed. I'm not going to go through the whole script because it'll probably take longer than the meeting. Sue Guerra.
Here.
Bob Wheeler.
present.
Bill Brookings.
Present, Paul, and I was about to say the same. Don't blink, you might miss the agenda.
Yeah. Paul McKelk here, and I'll speak for Donna Trailer. She is here with us in support. And with that, I want to put the heavy weight on your shoulders, Bill.
Well, I think the only discussion item I had was the 110 grill. I know you had gone out probably a weekend or two ago and felt
Right.
that things looked pretty decent. Bridget had sent a letter to the owner and hadn't received a response. I did go out last Wednesday and they did have a sign at the door, you know, asking people to wear masks or telling them to. But inside, the manager showed me their seating plan every other booth until they can do the plexi. But the bar was still an issue. You know, they didn't have plexi between patrons and bartender, and people were seated less than 6 feet away. So, you know, I talked to Bridget, and she was going to try to get out there. I don't know if she has. I haven't been in touch with her.
When I was there, they had, I believe it was 4 tables for 2 set up immediately next to the bar. There was
Mhm.
no plexiglass separating the bartenders from the customers, but it was not conventional bar stool seating.
That's what I
don't
saw,
know if-
but again, patrons and bartender were less than 6 feet apart. So the
That's
deal
true.
is 6 feet apart or plexi.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Well, they
So
need
the
plexi then.
manager said they're working on that, but in the meantime, they need to make that distance work.
Okay.
So
All right.
Bridget, I think she was going to try to get out the end of last week. I'll have to ask her, but if not, I'll try to swing by myself.
All right. Now
They know we're swinging in, and that keeps them on their toes.
Yep, and I'm gonna drop in there at some point this week as well, just to say hi and
Sure.
take a look. Let
Yep,
them
that
know
sounds good.
let them know that there are officials out there. I forwarded to you late this afternoon, Bill, something from one of our select members relative to the snack shack at the
Yep.
town fields.
Yep.
Prepackaged foods and drinks. If you could forward that to Bridget, I don't think there are any issues, but
Actually, that's why I was a minute late. I was reading that email and forwarding it to Bridget. So
oh, okay.
yep.
Okay.
we will. I'll see what she has to say about recommendations. Yep.
Yeah.
I know.
Just
You know, spring's coming. Good weather's coming. People are going to want to be outside doing stuff.
right. You've got a couple letters for me to sign up in the office.
Yes, the 199 and the 203 Crosby Road Title V inspection report letters. Yep. So once those
Okay,
are
they
signed
came
up,
through
come on.
clean.
Well, no, if you recall, the 199 is the house that has the 1-bedroom permit, but a
Right.
3-bedroom house. So we're telling them to deed restrict to 1 or upgrade to 3.
Oh, okay.
And then 203 Crosby has some old cesspool that's handling a portion of the flow of the house, and it would fail because it's less than 50 feet to the well. So
Okay.
all the flow needs to be tied to the main system, and that cesspool decommissioned, and we're asking them, or telling them to do that also.
Okay, so the letters are requesting upgrades of some,
Yep.
and adjustments of one kind or another.
Yep, and
Okay,
as usual, they indicate that the report's considered incomplete until we receive that documentation.
right. All right, I'll make it a point to get up there tomorrow and sign them.
If you do that, I'll be in Thursday and I'll get them in the mail.
Okay. Have you had any, I haven't seen them to talk to. Have you had any new conversations with our plumbing inspector relative to the Fossil development on
Nope.
West Street and the water pressure?
No, that was a couple weeks ago. I heard the initial conversation, but haven't heard much since. You know, I guess they got to look at the water quality. My guess is with the new home, they can plumb things separately. You know, like for example, if you
Right.
know you're going to be treating for arsenic, you don't plumb in your exterior spigots because you don't want to treat water that you're watering the garden with necessarily on the lawn. Because again, the more gallons you use, the quicker that media wears out. So, you know, there's probably a plumbing way around. You know, if they need to treat the potable, they may not treat the
Do
sprinkler.
workers or anybody drink out of the hose anymore?
Well,
I used
possibly.
to for years.
It's pretty low risk.
Yeah,
It's not a daily thing, hopefully.
Yeah, right, yeah. A little dab won't hurt you.
Correct.
Um. Anything new with 151 Coburn? We've requested that they upgrade the tank.
I approved the building permit with that caveat, so that's
Okay.
I think they're working on the house, but you know, Rich has that as a requirement of the Board of Health. Obviously, the builder does also because they're copied on the email from Viewpoint.
Okay,
And
good.
he wasn't surprised. I spoke to him verbally, and you know, he didn't see that as a problem. But again, when it comes time to sign off anything on the new construction, you know, we would make sure that tank's in place.
Does anybody know who the new owner of that property is?
no,
I don't. The Viewpoint reflects Mike DeVerde, who's the builder.
Okay.
Whoever's applying for the permit is on our info. I mean, maybe if you dig deeper, but it's
I
not the
figure it's
assessors.
one of two individuals from town. I just didn't know who. Doesn't
Mhm.
really matter. I was just
Yeah.
curious.
yeah, I don't know.
Email Molly, she'll tell you.
No, man, yeah, she
Yeah.
will. She will. I put in a call to Stericycle relative to hazardous waste. They told me they'd get back to me within 24 to 72 hours, so the clock is ticking. Their voicemail says their automated mail says they're very busy because of COVID, which I translate to they're understaffed currently, but
Yeah,
so nothing new on that in terms of proceeding with hazardous waste day. I really don't have anything else or any new questions. Does anybody have anything? No.
I would just like to say that call wise, we've certainly shifted from complaints about masks and businesses to vaccine questions. You know, there's a lot of
right.
questions on that, and since the state is using the vaccine for their mass vaccination sites, unfortunately, we don't have much to say to the locals.
Right. I know there's a issue question about in-home vaccinations. The town is trying, the Victoria Council of Aging is trying to get her hands on a list of who really is homebound.
Mhm.
She sent me something this afternoon, but it's in Google Notes, which is totally foreign to me. So
I couldn't pull that up either, Paul. She sent that to me and it wouldn't come out on my computer either, so.
Sue, did you get that?
I don't know, but I've been kind of busy this afternoon.
Yeah,
I did not.
Well, I will forward it to you, and if you can crack Google Notes sometime, that would be great.
Yeah.
I know Lancaster's board had, I think, or the Council on Aging and Board of Health had turned to the census to determine, who was 75 plus, and they were actually, calling to see who was homebound and who wasn't to create a list
Right.
of of people, because I think Neshoba is working to get that done. You know, I think the option is you can do it locally through the Board of Health, i.e. Neshoba, or the state will step in. And I
Right.
think Neshoba is taking care of the towns in the district.
I know Council on Aging has some volunteers and they've been making calls. They had completed part of the list. Chief Galvin's put out a couple robocalls.
Yep.
Yep.
Asking for any input relative to homebound folks.
Yeah, and I was surprised because they didn't say someone that needed a two-person assist to get out of the house. They just said, if you need some help getting out of the house, then you most likely qualify. And I'm like, huh? But we'll see how many people, we got 2 robocalls.
Right, there were
Yes.
a
Yep.
couple.
I
Maybe
didn't
no-
get any. I wonder if I'm
Wanda.
on the list.
No, you don't live in Berlin.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
used to get the ones from the chief about like
Oh,
snow
yeah?
and
Oh,
Hmm.
maybe
Huh.
that's,
Really? Oh,
maybe that's a
Maybe-
town hall.
Maybe it's an
Wow.
employees list, hon, and you're
Yeah,
on the,
maybe.
yeah.
maybe
you're
you
on the-
need to start paying taxes here in town.
Yeah, well, yeah, no,
Does.
no.
How do you pay?
Here's the money. Come on.
but I would encourage everyone to at least pre-register on the state's website for vaccines.
Yep.
Bill, have you done that or have you been vaccinated?
Me?
No, Bill.
Oh, I've been lucky enough to be vaccinated. When we were running local clinics, obviously they had a call down list if they had extra vaccine at the end of the clinic. And if you were called and could get there in a hurry, you were able to be vaccinated. So
Hmm.
good news.
Well,
Lucky,
I'm
feel very
scheduled,
fortunate.
I'm scheduled for my first one this Sunday at the Natick Mall, so.
Oh,
that's-
really? Interestingly enough, we had a couple folks
Sunday, no less, huh, Paul?
Yep,
at the last Lancaster Board of Health meeting. I had a few folks comment on their experience at Gillette. And
Oh, I went to Gillette.
other than not liking
Yep.
driving there, they said once they were there, it was very well set up and very efficient. So
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I go tomorrow for my second with mom.
oh, do
So,
you? Good.
yeah,
I hope
That's-
don't make any
Everything I've
plans.
heard about Gillette has been positive, in, out, organized, nice.
No, do you get out of the car at Gillette?
oh, yeah,
Yes. You
Yeah.
go in,
Oh, you-
yeah,
it's
you go,
very quick, you're in the building maybe less than 4 minutes before you get your shot, and then you go and you wait for your 15. Now,
or
Dave
30.
got a Jensen vaccine at St. Vincent's last week. That's the 1-shot deal.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, I couldn't go in with him. So I sent him in and he was back in the car like 6 minutes later.
Very good.
Let
You
me, let
didn't
me
hear
ask you, the waiting time of 15 minutes, are you sitting or are you moving around?
No, you're sitting. They have chairs.
Well, that doesn't sound like the best way to me.
Well, you're
If you
separated.
If you
though.
get a vaccination, you want to move around, get it in your system and find out if it's going to have a negative effect. Sitting
Well-
down, you're sedentary.
Paul,
Good night,
Paul,
I'm a
I think
doctor, so-
I think they want people sitting, so if someone has an adverse
Yeah, if
reaction,
they
they're not
fall
crashing to
over,
the floor.
yes, it's not far to go, but.
Well,
Right.
David was supposed to sit for the 15 minutes. They wrote the time right on the paper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
So they handed me the paper and said, you're all set. So he got walked out.
Yeah.
No, is that right at the hospital, Sue?
Yep.
Very
But
good.
there's no perfect way.
No, there isn't, but people are getting it done. That's great. I'm too young. I gotta wait another 10 years, I guess.
Well, we just got an email from DPH. It sounds like within the next week or two, everybody is going to know when they're eligible.
I saw
Good.
that. The governor's supposed to
Yeah,
announce
it was
something.
on the
Yeah.
news tonight.
Okay.
Like Friday or something. It's
Yep.
very soon that supposedly
Yeah.
everybody's gonna know when
Yes.
they're.
Yeah, I think it came through saying that he was gonna announce something, because I get
Well,
texts. But I thought it was Wednesday or Friday, and I think they're gonna open it up to everybody, but don't quote me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
right.
pull the email up, I'll forward it. So you,
There'll be
Okay,
an
so Bill-
announcement this week, though, so.
So,
One thing, are we all set for town meeting? Paul, Sue, Donna? I don't even, have they decided even on a date? June or May or June yet?
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, okay, Paul. I
Yeah.
didn't know if that we, I know it's one of them, we're not sure, I guess, still then, huh?
No, they haven't picked a date that I'm aware of.
That I didn't either, but have we got a solid warrant yet that anybody's got that we could read or?
Have we got what?
A solid warrant of all the articles and written out, yeah,
I haven't seen one.
either.
is the warrant open? Is that in Berlin or Lancaster? One of them's open.
Berlin.
Lancaster.
I don't think the Berlin warrant's open.
Okay,
it's
well,
close.
I do know that the townhouses at Reese are on the warrant.
Yeah, 42 articles, I heard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're supposed to be, we're worried about us throwing in one or two articles and they're gonna do 42, Paul, so I guess it's a good thing we stayed out.
Well, some of that's probably makeup from last year because a lot of things got pushed off.
Yeah, I suppose, yep.
Hmm.
Didn't push conservation off, I don't think, but. Anyway,
I'd like to see something else proposed other than townhouses. Oh, Bill, question for you while you're here and we're winding down.
Yeah.
I know it's a DEP wastewater treatment thing at Reese's, Sunny's Development. Do you know if those type of systems need to have a minimum flow to be functional, optimally functional?
absolutely, absolutely. Here's an example. One of the towns I work in, their high school has a treatment plant and they have issues because each summer it's not getting the flow it needs. So there's a major curve, if you will, when they do start up, their test results are way off. So
Wow.
a treatment plant, if it's designed for 40,000 gallons a day and it's getting 10, it's not getting the food it needs. So it does need to receive, a decent flow in relation to its design flow.
Well, that is going to be one of the Sunny's arguments for the townhomes, that they need more volume going into the system they have.
I see.
Again, I'm going to rely solely on, I hope they're involving DEP in this discussion, because not only the treatment plant, but the well, I mean, you can't tax either and you can't, underuse. So,
Right.
DEP, I would think would have a lot to say about this proposal.
Now,
Now, is
interesting.
this being done in lieu of the retail that was proposed? Are they kind of swapping, or are they going to add it?
I don't know.
They're not they're saying there's no retail interest. That's why they're going toward townhomes.
Well, that's a totally
They-
different flow, completely different flow.
I've heard that they've got a $1.2 million contract to develop townhomes.
Yeah,
And, they're looking for town approval.
Well, that kind
Obviously.
of defies the logic of that whole project, though. I mean, if the town, when I
Okay.
saw the initial plans, it was all about almost being like a village. You had residences, you had
Right.
you had
Absolutely.
your food store, you had your pharmacy, you had everything right there.
so that, residential eats up a lot more than, right, Billy?
Correct. Yeah. Like a retail is per 1,000 square. I mean, that at least Title V flows. I mean, the treatment plant flows might be slightly different, but a residential flow is certainly higher than a retail use as far as that square footage goes.
Do you think
And
if
where
I
they-
call,
excuse me.
Bill, do
sorry.
you think if I called DEP, they would give me the skinny on that?
Well, my best advice would be, I can forward you David Boyer's email and phone number regarding the treatment plant, and Susan Connor's email and phone number regarding the well. And I think they'd be quite interested in what's being proposed. And they may be aware of it already, but if not, they should certainly be involved early on.
Because I've been talking to a couple people about alternative possibilities. Things that run the gamut from almost like an incubator development that might have a commercial kitchen and studios with residents for all kinds of different artists. I've seen a couple of them. In Boston, there's Innovation Nation, Innovation something or other, Innovation Hub, and they have like 3 locations, and it's
Yeah.
to help people, to get businesses going.
Yep.
You know, and you roll in possibly community office space or whatever. I just, you know, personally, I'm speaking for myself, I'm resident out with that project. We need to have some diversity down there.
Right.
And
That was the initial attempt.
that's what,
Kept on it.
that is what the town bought a
Right.
long time
Bought
ago.
into, right,
There was gonna be assisted living,
diversity, yeah.
you know, there was gonna be a grocery store, there was gonna
Yep.
be this, that, and the other thing. And we have, maybe the
One-
gas station convenience store was part of it, but that's
That-
about the only thing that's happened.
That and the daycare is the only thing that's happened there.
Yeah,
Supposed to have a pharmacy.
Another thing, Billy, on 40B, they got most of the project in on that. The new condos and all that would not fall under 40B regs, right?
It depends if the town has reached their quota. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure we've reached our quota, so the townhomes wouldn't be.
If so, you could say no to 40B as far as I know.
Well, I just mean, on the condos on building on small lots, that kind of brings up an issue of 40B being able to do override us on those originals, right?
Well, I don't know about small lots because they're tied into a treatment plant, so they're not governed by
Yeah,
Title
that-
V.
that- it's a
Small
whole
lots are
different-
an issue with Title V, not with a treatment plant.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah, but it
different-
was allowed through 40B.
Yeah, but 40B doesn't really affect the sewage flow. It affects, again, if you're doing a Title V system, it affects local
The affordable,
regulations being
okay,
waived.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, all right. so-
And again,
We
you're not
are
gonna
at
leave
our 40B required minimum and we're above.
Okay, so,
So there,
That might
there
change
should be no new 40Bs coming down the pike other than maybe South Street.
Yeah,
Which has
other
been on the drawing board for a while, and I'm not sure where that falls in the
Right, right.
calculation.
okay, that was just a question. I'm not
All
sure
right.
on it.
Yeah, Bill, if you would forward me
Yep.
Connors and Boyer's information,
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to follow up on that.
Yeah, I think it would be wise to start that dialogue early.
Absolutely, absolutely. We still have a little time and, yeah, we've had enough residential building. I mean, it's looking like the Cross Bronx Expressway when you drive through Solomon Pond Road Mall.
Did we hear anything more on Highland Street, Billy? Is that going smoothly or? do we-
I think they're building their first 4 units in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Oh, and the
Okay.
clubhouse. Oh, okay.
Yep, but the clubhouse that they're proposing and the clubhouse that was part of the septic design seem to be very different, so I gotta talk to them about that,
Oh, yeah, okay,
as far as seating and use, etc.
right. Straighten
I
that.
heard them hammering ledge up there the last couple days.
Oh, they've banged up a lot up there.
So I haven't
They had
heard
a
any
McCla- they had a
blasting,
Mc-
but they're banging ledge, so.
They had a McCluskey crusher up there, boy. It had a pile the size of Powder House up there.
Hmm.
Anyway.
All right,
Those are-
anything else
ma-
from anybody? We'll set a record tonight for
Sue's got her hand up.
brevity.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'm shocked.
Second,
All in favor, Sue,
Aye.
Bobby,
all right.
Paul, I as well.